Do you want high dividend yield but don't want the hassle to invest in each dividend stock? Then you'll be thrilled to know about this UOBAM new dividend ETF that offers at least 6% dividend yield in the first 2 years. In this video, I'm going to break down 7 key things you need to know about the dividend ETF and see whether you should apply for it or not. Remember to watch until the end of the video because I will also be sharing my secret Excel where I plotted all the stocks inside the ETF and their respective weightage and dividend yields. Let's go! First off, I just want to say that this is not a sponsored video. I'm really interested in researching about this ASEAN Index ETF and decided to make this video today. Let's introduce this ETF. So what is it exactly about? Okay, this is the UOBAM Ping An FTSE ASEAN Dividend Index ETF. Pretty much a mouthful, okay, but what does it do? Investment objective is to track the FTSE ASEAN excluding REITs target in dividend index. So if you look at the bottom left, you will notice that there are two indices, right? One is the ASEAN index, one is the one excluding REITs. So basically, this dividend index ETF will focus on dividend companies spread across ASEAN without including REITs. So this is a big deal because most people already own S-REITs in Singapore, right? And this ETF is somewhat complementary to REIT or income investors who wants a hassle-free way to invest for dividends. So basically, if you have already owned a few REITs, a basket of REITs, now you can go for this dividend ETF because it is targeting dividend-paying companies, which is different from S-REITs. And most of them will be things like banks, telcos, utilities, consumer names, and all that. So in a way, we don't think of it as a REIT replacement. We think of it as a different income bucket. If you look at their target dividend index, right, it is trading at a 7.43% net dividend yield as of 28 November 2025. Okay, so this sits in line with what they are targeting to pay out, which is at least 6% dividend yield for the first 2 years, so 2026 and 2027. The second thing to know is the rationale behind this dividend index launch. So why should we go for this ETF? Two big reasons. Number one, interest rates are already on a declining trend, and one good example is how our high yield savings accounts, the interest rates is already going down from say 4 to 5% 2 years ago to maybe just 2 to 3%, and many of us are looking for other ways to park our money to earn higher interest rates. Number two, this ETF focuses on the ASEAN region, which typically have higher dividend paying companies compared to the US or the Europe region. Okay, but many retail investors don't know how to access these stocks easily. So instead of buying 20 different stocks across 5 ASEAN countries, this ETF bundle them together inside one single trade. So I believe this is the main appeal for busy professionals like you and me. Okay, so let's hop over to understand more about the ASEAN demographic trends. Now, here's what's interesting about the ASEAN region. So first of all, we have robust GDP growth, right? Where ASEAN's GDP is reaching 3.9 trillion US dollars in 2024 and projected to become the world's 4th largest economy by 2030. The second one is the rising middle class. So nearly half of our ASEAN population is under 30 years old. So nowhere near the aging population, right? And of course, 70% of them are expected to be middle class by 2030. So growing workforce and higher consumption trends. And the third of all is the trade and investment hub. So with geopolitics happening around the world, getting more and more serious across the countries that we all know, I do believe that ASEAN can attract more foreign direct investment in future because of its relatively stable and attractive status. In a nutshell, when you have a rising middle class in a high growth ASEAN region, it will translate to more people such as opening bank accounts, paying phone bills, using electricity and buying daily necessities. And guess what kind of companies will benefit from that? Yes, we all know all those very staple banks, telcos, utilities, and infrastructure stocks. This just happens to be where all the dividends will come from. And on top of that, and if we were to look at the P valuation ratio, the MSCI Southeast Asia region is trading at a 12 months forward PE ratio around 14.5 times, so close to the 10 years average in the past and definitely way cheaper compared to the US indices. So let's talk talk about how the index actually works. How does the dividend index ETF goes about selecting these high yield stocks? Okay, let's talk about the methodology in more details. First of all, they have this investment universe where they target the large and mid-cap companies from across the ASEAN region. And then next, they have this criteria where they will exclude certain stocks, which includes the REITs and those companies that don't pay dividends or have abnormally high yield due to falling share price or weak performance, which is a very critical point because you don't want to go for companies that suddenly just pay very high dividend but go bankrupt the next year, like Eagle Hospitality Trust. Okay, and third, they have this portfolio selection, okay, where any single stock exposure will be kept at 10% and the weightage are optimized to achieve the target dividend yield of at least 6%, right? Remember, 6% for the first 2 years. And then last but not least, they have a rebalancing and review every March and September. So it's a semi-annual basis. So in a nutshell, this is the methodology that the dividend ETF will embark on. Now for the most interesting part, the underlying 10 stocks inside this dividend ETF. So from the brochure itself, you can already see these top 10 holdings. Yes, you'll see many familiar names like DBS, the Indonesia banks, OCBC, UOB, Maybank, Astra, which is the Indonesia's largest conglomerate, PTT, Thailand's national energy company, SCBX, which is a fintech company in Thailand, and our beloved Singtel, which has gone up so much over the past 2 years. But what I actually did is to flip through the prospectus and find out the 57 stock constituents inside the ETF itself. Then I compiled them inside an Excel file, included the trailing dividend yields for each stock, and created a pivot table. Let me show it to you right now. Okay, this is the Excel file that I've done. I compiled all the stocks that I found inside the prospectus. If you want, you can click this link over here to direct yourself to the prospectus, and it's around 100, I think page 108 to 109 or something like that. Okay, so basically I pull out the entire 57 stocks, okay, going from all the different countries and the weightage of each and every stock. So when you add up all the weightage, and I've done a pivot table here, if you compile all the weightage, it will be around 99.98%, close to 100% already lah. And I pull out all the dividend yield of each and every stock, and you can see how they can actually pay you 6%. It's actually from all these small stocks that actually pay a very high dividend yield. So if you have this file, you can actually look through and see whether you are comfortable investing in this kind of stocks or not. So we have very familiar names from Singapore as well. We have like CapitaLand Invest, Venture Corp, Sembcorp, SIA, Netlink Trust, and all that. So the fun part about this is that once I have the weightage, once I have the dividend yield, I then make them into a pivot table over here. And then I can see that, okay, like for example, from Indonesia, it's 31% weightage, actually higher than Singapore. And it gives a 8.5% average dividend yield. If you want to have a copy of this Excel file and play around with it yourself, I've included it inside my Invest Kaki blog post. So you just need to click on the link down below and join my free newsletter to download it. Things to go through. For the second last one is this thing about ETF features. So we need to know what is this ETF about with all these different features, right? Before you know how to invest. So number one, of course, is the attractive distributions of at least 6% in the next 2 years, paid semi-annually. The second thing is that right now, if I'm not wrong, the share price will be $1 for each unit, and there's no minimum bought lot size. That means you can actually just pay for that one unit itself. Very attractive. You can just go like maybe a few $100s and things like that. Dual currency option, so it's available in both the Singapore dollar as well as the US dollar. And the most important part is the SRS approved, which means you can either invest using your own cash or SRS funds. So if you are those that always park 15,300 inside your SRS, now you can actually deploy them inside this dividend index ETF. This does not require any fulfillment of the CAR criteria to trade. So basically, this is a very easy to get started kind of investment. Now let's hop over to the last thing that we need to know. This part is how do you actually apply during the initial offering period, right? From 7 to 23rd January 2026. Over here from the UOB AM website, you can see that there are a few brokers or dealers that are participating in this IOP, which is like Philips Securities, Momo, Maybank, iFast, Tiger Broker, UOB Kay Hian. You can also do it via UOB or OCBC, internet banking, and ATMs. Different dealers will have their own promotions going on for this ASEAN Dividend Index ETF, but let's just show you how it works in Momo. Over here, you can see from the post that this is the campaign period. If you subscribe to the Dividend Index ETF, depending on how much you're gonna subscribe, you will get the corresponding trading cash coupon going from $15 to $30 to $50. So if you want, I will share my affiliate link down below and you can click on it. You can actually go and find that particular ticker. It's UPD if I'm not wrong, and then you can just go through the process to sign up. Before I wrap up, income investing is good, and this dividend ETF may be a good way for investors looking to diversify your income sources beyond Singapore and beyond REITs itself. But just take note of the risks, as higher dividend yields may be coming from offshore like Indonesia and Thailand. But I also want to hear from you. Will you invest in this dividend ETF or not? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you find this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more investing insights like this. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.